Hello everyone, and welcome to our latest video. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at how to create your own custom leave types within our system. Additionally, I'll walk you through the process of assigning these newly created leave types to different employees. This feature is incredibly useful for tailoring leave policies to meet your organization's specific needs, so let's dive right in. To begin the process of creating a custom leave type, you'll first need to navigate to the Request module within the system. Once there, you'll find an option labeled Leave. Clicking on this will bring you to a new section where you can manage various leave-related settings. Look for the Settings tab under the Leave section and click on it. Here, you'll see several options, but for now, we'll focus on the first tab, labeled Types. This is where you can create and manage all the different leave types for your organization. To create a new leave type, simply click on the Create button. Upon doing so, a dialog box will appear, presenting you with a range of configuration options that allow you to customize this leave type to suit your company's specific policies and requirements. The first step in the configuration process is to provide a name for your leave type. This should be a clear and descriptive name that reflects the purpose of the leave, making it easy for employees to understand. Next, you'll enter a short name for the leave type, which will serve as an abbreviated reference in various parts of the system. After naming your leave type, you'll see several configuration options that determine how this leave type will function, like probation leave type. This option is particularly useful if you want the leave type to be available only to employees who are currently on probation. By checking this box, you restrict this leave type to those employees who are still within their probationary period. The system will automatically enforce this rule, ensuring that only probationary employees can apply for this leave type. Next is Active. This checkbox allows you to activate or deactivate the leave type. If you want this leave type to be immediately available for use, make sure this box is checked. Next is Auto Allotment. Enabling this option automates the process of allotting leave quotas to employees. At the end of one tenure and the beginning of a new one, the system will automatically allot the appropriate leave quota to employees based on your settings. Next is Allot Balance in Joining Month. If your company has policies that grant leave based on the employee's joining month rather than the company's standard fiscal year, this option is for you. By checking this box, the system will ignore the typical company year and instead allocate the leave quota based on the employee's specific joining month. Moving forward to another points like short leave. If your company offers short leave options, enabling this checkbox will reveal a new section at the bottom of the dialog box, labeled Short Leave Slabs. Here you can define various slabs for short leave. For example, you might create a slab called Half Day, where you specify the balance and the type of deduction, whether it's a percentage of the shift or a flat value. Another option is Sandwich. The Sandwich option is crucial if you want to include holidays or weekends in the leave count. When this option is enabled, any holidays or weekends that fall between leave days will be counted as part of the leave, rather than as separate, non-working days. The pro-rated option determines how the leave balance is adjusted based on an employee's joining date. For example, if an employee joins the company in the middle of the tenure period, the system will automatically calculate and allocate a proportional leave quota. Can apply for back dates. This option is essential if you want to allow employees to apply for leave retroactively. By setting a specific number of days, you determine how far back an employee can apply for leave. For instance, if you set this to 1 day, employees can apply for leave up to 1 day after the leave period has started. Next is Attachment Required. If you want to ensure that employees provide supporting documentation when applying for this leave type, such as a doctor's note for sick leave, enable this checkbox. The system will then require attachments before the leave application can be submitted. Encashment. This feature is useful if your company allows employees to encash unused leave at the end of a tenure. Enabling this option will ensure that any remaining balance of this leave type can be converted into monetary compensation for the employee. The next is Carry Forward. If your company policy allows employees to carry forward unused leave from one tenure to the next, this option should be enabled. It ensures that any leave balance that remains at the end of the tenure is not lost but is instead carried over to the next period. The next section in the dialog box is Precondition Settings. These settings allow you to define specific criteria that must be met for an employee to be eligible to apply for this leave type. can apply in probation. Specify whether this leave type is available to employees who are currently on probation. Minimum experience to apply in months. This setting allows you to define a minimum work experience requirement for eligibility. For example, you might require that an employee has worked for at least 6 months before they can apply for this leave type. Maximum applications in employment. Here, you can set a limit on the number of times an employee can apply for this leave type during their entire employment. Gap between applications in months. If you want to enforce a minimum gap between consecutive leave applications, you can define it here. For example, if you set this to 2 months, employees will need to wait at least 2 months between applications for this leave type. In the balance settings section, you'll determine how the leave balance is calculated and allocated. First, you'll need to select the tenure, either annually or monthly. Next, choose the balance type, either flat or experience-based. If you select experience-based, an additional section called Experience Slab will appear. Here you can define the minimum and maximum experience required for different balance levels. For example, employees with 1 to 3 years of experience might get 10 days of leave, while those with 4 to 6 years might get 15 days. If you choose flat, simply enter the cumulative leave count that will be allocated regardless of experience. After carefully filling out all these details and configurations, you can finalize the creation of the leave type by clicking on the Save button. The system will then generate a unique code and description for this leave type, confirming its successful creation. Now that your custom leave type is created, it's time to assign it to the relevant employees. To do this, click on the Apply button. This action will bring up a pop-up window where you'll start by selecting the leave type you just created from a drop-down menu. After selecting the leave type, click Next. In the following screen, you'll see various filters that allow you to narrow down your employee selection. These filters include options like location, designation, grade, and more. You can use these filters to search for and select specific employees who will be eligible for this leave type. For now, I'm selecting all employees from the company. To do this, click on the Search button and all employees will appear in the list. If you prefer to manually select employees, you can do so by dragging and dropping them into the selection area. Alternatively, you can move all employees into the selection area at once by pressing the Select All button. After you've made your selection, click Next to proceed to the final confirmation screen. Here, you'll see the selected leave type, along with its description, and a list of all the employees you've chosen. Review the details carefully, and once everything looks good, click Save to apply the leave type to the selected employees. And that's it. You've now successfully created a custom leave type and assigned it to the appropriate employees in the system. This process gives you the flexibility to tailor leave policies to meet the unique needs of your organization. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching.